Welcome to the official Sales and Marketing for Beauty Conference podcast. This is your go-to destination for real-world insights on building, growing, and thriving in the beauty industry. Whether you're a beauty entrepreneur, a salon or spa owner, a product brand owner, or an aspiring professional, you're in the right place. Each episode is your personal masterclass in beauty entrepreneurship, from sales strategy and social media tips to brand building and behind the scenes stories from industry leaders. SAMB is more than a podcast or an event. We're a year-round support system. Mark your calendar for SAMB 2025, our flagship conference happening November 5th through the 7th. It's a virtual event. And so we have a lot of global speakers as well as speakers there in the U.S. and local to New York City. We'll also have some local networking opportunities, and there'll be virtual networking opportunities. And so there'll be hands-on workshops, one-to-one consultations, expert-led sessions, all designed to help you scale and succeed and get real actionable strategies and tips to grow the sales and marketing function of your business, right? So stay tuned for the podcast. Make sure you check out our website, and we hope to see you at SAMB 2025.
Constant chase after the latest social media algorithm tweak.
Oh, absolutely. It's relentless.
You pour resources, time, creativity into content, and then it just vanishes based on some platform's whim. It feels like you're constantly fighting for attention on, well, rented land.
Rented digital land, exactly. It's exhausting, isn't it? And frankly, not the most reliable way to scale a business long term.
Which is why today, we're deliberately stepping back from all that chaos. We want to do a deep dive into something far more predictable, potentially much more powerful, and honestly, way more cost-effective when done right.
And that is sophisticated email marketing.
Precisely. Not just batch and blast newsletters, but real strategy.
Exactly. Our mission here today, for you listening, is to really cut through all the surface-level advice. We want to pull out the specific, actionable playbook that the most successful beauty brands are using right now.
The ones who aren't just getting opens, but are building real loyalty.
Yes. We're talking about intentional strategies. How do you turn a simple email list, something that can feel quite static, into this dynamic engine for customer relationships? Relationships that genuinely drive sustainable sales growth.
Growth that goes way beyond just, throwing out a discount code whenever sales dip.
Right. It requires thought, consistency, and sending the right message at the right time. It's about connection.
Okay, so let's get right into the tactical stuff. We know email is reliable. Our audience knows that. What's the next level thinking here? What's the advanced nugget? Why are the smartest brands, the top performers, really doubling down on email while maybe others are still just chasing viral video views?
Well, the core concept, the thing you absolutely have to internalize, is that email is an owned channel. That's the fundamental difference.
Owned versus rented.
Exactly. Unlike social media, where the platform dictates everything, visibility, reach, even the format with email, you control the delivery, you control the content experience, and crucially, you own the direct relationship with that audience member. There's no algorithm standing in the way.
Okay, that makes sense. Ownership equals control.
And this is the key insight from the sources we looked at. Leveraging that ownership effectively means treating every single interaction, every message, as a deliberate step.
From the very first hello.
From the moment they sign up, through their education, their purchases, maybe even if they go quiet for a while, all the way to the latest product launch. It's all part of building a premium brand experience.
Not just a series of isolated transaction pushes.
Precisely. It's not just about selling a product in that moment. It's about reinforcing the brand promise and deepening the connection with every email. That's the advanced game.
All right, let's unpack that journey then, step by step. Where do we begin? The absolute critical first hurdle has to be that moment someone trusts you with their email address. They click subscribe.
That initial sign up, it's huge.
Yeah, and I think most brands, honestly, they send out that one single, often pretty generic, automated welcome email with maybe a 10% off code, and they pick the box. Job done. Check, welcome email sent. But the sources we reviewed were really emphatic about this. That first interaction isn't just a formality. It's potentially the best opportunity you have to make a deep, lasting impression. It's your chance for real brand immersion.
It truly is. And that's why we have to evolve past the single email mindset. The really smart beauty brands, the ones setting the standard, they deploy what's called a welcome series or an onboarding sequence.
So not just one email, but a flow.
Exactly. Typically, it's maybe 3, sometimes 4 emails strategically spaced over the first week or so after sign up. And the primary goal here isn't immediate conversion, surprisingly.
Not just buy now.
No. The initial goal is building trust and facilitating assimilation into the brand's world. You want them to understand who you are, what you stand for, before you push the sale too hard.
Okay, so tactically, what does that multi-step series actually contain? If it's not just hammering the discount, what are the components?
Well, the first email, yes, often handles the functional aspects, confirming the subscription, maybe delivering that initial incentive like the 10% off you mentioned, and crucially, setting expectations. What kind of content would they receive? How often?
Managing expectations from the start. Good.
Very important. But the real depth, the brand building, happens in emails 2 and 3. Email 2, for instance, should really dive into the brand's soul.
Its essence.
Yes. This is where you share the founder's story, perhaps, or you articulate the philosophy behind your ingredient sourcing, maybe your commitment to cruelty-free practices or sustainability. You're explaining your why.
That feels particularly vital in the beauty space, doesn't it? Customers today are so much more conscious, really discerning about what they put on their skin or use in their routines. They want to connect with the brand's values.
They absolutely do. They need to believe in the mission, not just the marketing claims, before they'll fully trust the product on their face or body. So that why email is critical for building that initial layer of trust.
Okay, so email 1 is functional, sets expectations. Email 2 is the why, the brand soul. What about email 3?
Email 3 should pivot to social proof. Almost immediately. Don't wait months to show them that other people love your products.
Interesting. So bringing in the community aspect early.
Very early. Integrate compelling customer testimonials, maybe some high-quality, authentic, user-generated content photos, short video clips if you have them. You're essentially using the trust the community already has to validate the brand promise you just made in email 2.
So it's like saying, here's who we are and why we exist.
Yeah.
And by the way, here are real people who already love it.
Exactly. It builds confidence fast. And then, only then, maybe in email 4, or perhaps woven subtly into email 3, do you circle back to a slightly more direct call to action?
Like reminding them about that initial offer.
Precisely. Maybe framing it as, your welcome gift is expiring soon, or linking the offer to a specific product you highlighted in the why or social proof emails. This carefully sequenced flow does so much more than a single email. It transforms a cold lead into a much more informed, trusting, and receptive prospect.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a much more considered approach. We saw Rhode mentioned as a great example here.
Yes, Rhode Skincare. Their welcome experience, as described, really embodies this philosophy. It's reportedly not pushy at all.
It's described as clean, very minimalist, which perfectly mirrors their overall brand aesthetic.
Exactly. It feels like a natural extension of their sleek, almost architectural skincare ethos. The emails themselves reflect the product packaging and the website design. It makes that transition from just being an interested Instagram follower to becoming an engaged email subscriber and potentially a customer feel completely seamless.
It avoids that jarring feeling you sometimes get when a brand's emails feel totally disconnected from their other marketing.
Right. It's not like getting a loud, cluttered sales pitch after being drawn in by a calm, minimalist brand image. It feels cohesive. That consistency is key.
Okay, so the Welcome series sets the stage, builds that initial trust. What happens next? Once someone has maybe made that first purchase, or at least is highly engaged with the welcome content, where does the email strategy go?
So the relationship fundamentally shifts at that point. And this is where the next critical phase comes in, according to the sources: ongoing education.
Education. Not just product features, I assume.
No, much deeper than that. It's about providing genuine, tangible value and, importantly, reducing customer anxiety or uncertainty. Think about it. Beauty products can be complex. Skincare routines, ingredient interactions.
Hair care regimens, makeup techniques, yeah, it can be intimidating.
Exactly. And this is where good email education offers a really interesting, tangible return on investment for the brand. It's not just nice to have.
So what's the ROI link?
Well, think about it. If a customer understands exactly how to use a product effectively, how it fits into their routine, how to layer it correctly, what results they should realistically expect, and when,
Okay.
you radically increase their confidence in the product and the brand. They feel empowered. And crucially, from a business perspective, You help prevent misuse.
Misuse leading to disappointment.
Exactly. Misuse leads to them thinking the product doesn't work, which leads to negative reviews, customer service complaints, and costly returns. Good education preempts a lot of that.
That's a really strong point. Preventing returns and dissatisfaction just through proactive education via email.
Absolutely. So the content here needs to be specific and genuinely helpful. We're talking about things like sending targeted application tips that address common customer questions or pain points you see coming up in reviews or support tickets.
Like how to get the most out of your vitamin C serum.
Precisely. Or in-depth explorations of key ingredients, what they are, why they work, the science behind them, explained simply. Tutorials are huge too. How to create a specific look. How to pair products for specific skin concerns, like dehydration or hyperpigmentation.
You're essentially positioning the brand not just as a seller of products, but as a trusted expert guide.
That's the goal. You foster loyalty by being genuinely useful long after the initial sale.
Drunk Elephant comes up here as a prime example, right? They seem to be masters of this educational approach.
They really are. They excel at using email to demystify what could be quite complex skincare routines and concepts. Think about their core philosophy around the suspicious six.
Right, the ingredients they formulate without. Things like essential oils, silicones, chemical sunscreens, fragrances.
Exactly. Now, that concept, the suspicious six, could easily overwhelm consumers or come across as overly technical, even maybe a bit fear-mongering if handled badly.
True, it could be confusing.
But Drink Elephant uses their email communication brilliantly to explain it. They consistently communicate why they exclude those specific ingredients, linking it back to their overall philosophy of biocompatibility and letting skin thrive.
So they turn a potentially complex formulation choice into a clear brand value proposition.
Precisely. They use education not just to teach the how-to, but to constantly reinforce their core, clean, effective ethos. They make the science feel accessible and relevant to the average person who just wants healthy skin. They transform that complexity into clarity.
Okay, so we've welcomed them, we've educated them, built trust. Now we inevitably need to talk about selling stuff. Promotional emails.
The necessary engine of commerce.
Right. Launches, sales events, seasonal offers, they're obviously essential for driving immediate revenue. But let's be honest, this is also the fastest track to annoying your subscribers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is where list fatigue sets in fast. Overdo the promotions, and you see those unsubscribe rates spike like crazy. Massive churn.
So the big question is balance. How do you thread that needle? How do you run the promotions you need to run without burning out your list and damaging that trust you've worked so hard to build?
Yeah, that's the central friction point, isn't it? The sources we looked at really converge on this idea. You have to shift your focus from sheer volume of promotions to the concept of meaningful product moments.
Meaningful product moments. What does that mean in practice?
It means asking, is this promotion tied to something significant? A new product launch, that's meaningful. A major cultural event like Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Okay, that's expected. Meaningful within context. A genuinely exciting seasonal transition tied to relevant products. Possibly meaningful.
But maybe not just a random 20% off Tuesday because we feel like it.
Exactly. Those arbitrary frequent flash sales, especially if they aren't deeply segmented, are highly risky. They train customers to wait for discounts and devalue the brand over time. The focus needs to be on quality and relevance over just quantity.
So the strategy has to move away from just blasting out a discount graphic. It needs to feel more integrated into the brand story, like visual storytelling.
Precisely. The promotion needs to feel like a natural part of the premium brand experience you're trying to cultivate. You have to constantly earn the right to be in their inbox, even when you're asking for a sale.
And Summer Fridays was highlighted here. How do they manage this?
Summer Fridays is a fantastic example of getting this right. Their launch emails, in particular, are described as being incredibly well-designed, highly visual, almost editorial in feel.
Less like a hard sell ad, more like
Flipping through curated pages in a high-end magazine or a beautiful coffee table book. They really align the aesthetic of the promotional email with their overall calming, aspirational, skincare meets self-care brand identity.
So opening the email feels pleasant, not intrusive.
Exactly. It feels like a delightful visual update from a brand they admire, showcasing something new and exciting rather than just a pushy demand for their money. That visual appeal and alignment makes the promotion feel valuable in itself.
That's a subtle but powerful distinction. Okay, shifting gears slightly, but still related to trust and long-term value. Let's talk about credibility. For any beauty brand, especially newer or growing ones, building trust is just paramount. Marketing copy alone, well, it only goes so far.
Consumers are savvy. They know marketing is marketing.
Right. So let's discuss this incredibly powerful, yet often still underutilized tactic, social proof.
Yes, the sources absolutely confirm this, and it's something we see echoed across industries, but it's maybe especially potent in beauty because results are so visual and personal.
So what kind of social proof are we talking about?
Basically, it boils down to peer validation. Nothing converts quite like seeing that someone like you has used the product and loved it. Marketing copy is what the brand claims about itself. Testimonials, user-generated content, UGC reviews, that's what the community actually says.
Real people, real results.
Exactly. Sharing authentic customer testimonials, the good, the bad, the detailed raw, unretouched before and after images, user videos showing application or results, that builds a layer of credibility that polished marketing campaigns just can't replicate.
Okay, so we know it's powerful, but how do we effectively integrate that into an email strategy? Is it just sticking a small quote in the email footer?
That's a start, but you can go so much deeper. You should be thinking about dedicated UGC modules or sections built right into your regular email templates.
So not an afterthought, but a core component.
Yes. For instance, imagine an email showcasing a new foundation, instead of just featuring a professional model shot under perfect studio lighting.
Which everyone knows isn't real life.
Right. Instead, feature maybe 3 diverse customers, different skin tones, different ages, actually wearing the product in their own photos, maybe alongside a snippet of their honest review directly visible in the email, or a carousel of user photos.
That immediately makes it more relatable and believable.
Instantly. You're building confidence by showing, not just telling. And this ties directly into your retention strategy as well.
How so?
Remember we talked about that subtle follow-up email a few weeks after purchase? That's not just about checking if they received the order okay. That's your prime opportunity to ask for a review or encourage them to share a photo using a specific hashtag.
So you're actively soliciting the UGC you need.
Exactly. And framing it not just as help us sell more, but as join our community, share your experience, help others find their perfect match. Asking for that review doesn't just generate future social proof, it reinforces to that customer that their opinion is valued, that they're part of something.
Building community, not just collecting testimonials.
Precisely. But let's be realistic. Even with the best welcome series, education, and community building, inevitably, some subscribers will go dark. They stop opening emails, stop clicking.
It happens. People's interests change, inboxes get cluttered.
Right. Which brings us to the necessary evil, perhaps, of the win-back or re-engagement campaign. We need a strategy for trying to reconnect with these inactive subscribers.
Okay. So if the goal is to sound human, authentic, not like a desperate automated robot, what's the tactical difference? How do you make a win-back email feel genuine and not just like a last-ditch sales plea?
Great question. The key differences lie in personalization and tone. Win-back emails absolutely must feel personal and encouraging, never aggressive or demanding.
So maybe avoid immediately leading with a massive screaming 50% off everything banner.
Please avoid that, yes.
Yeah.
That just trains customers to ignore you until you offer a huge discount, and it attracts bargain hunters, not loyal customers. The sources really emphasize starting with a softer approach.
Like what?
Like a simple, sincere subject line, "We miss you," or "Is everything okay?" The email body could acknowledge their inactivity gently, perhaps feature a personalized product recommendation based on their last purchase. "Remember this, we have something new you might like." Or simply remind them of the core brand mission and values they presumably signed up for in the first place.
Trying to rekindle the original connection.
Exactly. The primary goal of the win-back isn't just to generate one cheap, immediate transaction. It's to reignite the relationship. If someone hasn't engaged in, say, 90 days or more, you might even send an email that very explicitly asks if they'd like to update their email preferences or even take a break.
Showing respect for their inbox.
Precisely. Acknowledging that you value their time and attention, even if they're not actively engaging right now. That surprisingly human touch can be very effective in bringing people back, or at least letting them unsubscribe gracefully instead of marking you as spam.
Okay, that makes sense. Treat them like humans. Now, to make sure all these messages from the Welcome series, the education, the promotions, the win-back, actually land correctly and feel relevant, we absolutely have to talk about segmentation.
Segmentation, the engine room of effective email marketing.
For a deep dive audience like ours, this is crucial, isn't it? The idea that you can just send the exact same email blast to every single person on your list, it's almost commercial suicide today, especially in a category as personal and specialized as beauty.
Absolutely. One size fits all is dead. Segmentation is what powers truly customized customer journeys. Think about it. If you're sending an advanced tutorial on repairing severely damaged curly hair to a customer who has only ever purchased matte lipsticks and setting powder,
You're basically shouting, we don't know you, we don't care about your actual needs.
exactly. You're actively eroding trust and signaling incompetence with every irrelevant email. It's worse than sending nothing.
Okay, so let's break down the most important ways beauty brands should be segmenting their lists. Based on the sources, what are the key criteria?
Well, the first layer is often basic behavioral and demographic segmentation. This includes purchase history, what specific products or categories have they bought, and any demographic or preference data you've collected, skin type, hair type, key concerns, preferred shades.
The foundational stuff.
Right. So, for example, if a customer purchases an anti-aging serum and then purchases it again 3 months later, they should immediately be put into a segment that receives more advanced content about that serum.
Like tips on layering it with other specific anti-aging products, or maybe introducing them to the eye cream from the same line.
Exactly. Advanced usage tips, complementary product recommendations, they definitely shouldn't be getting the foundational what is a serum and why do you need one email that a brand new subscriber might get. That shows you're paying attention to their journey.
Okay, purchase history and known preferences.
Yeah.
What's the second key segmentation criterion that's maybe often overlooked, but really powerful?
Engagement level. This
Okay.
is extremely powerful and often underutilized beyond just identifying inactive subscribers for win-back.
How so? How do we segment by engagement?
You track who consistently opens your emails, who clicks on links, maybe even who engages with specific types of content more often. Your high engagement segments, the ones opening and clicking regularly, these are your VIPs, your most loyal fans.
Your brand advocates, potentially.
Absolutely. It should be treated differently. They should receive exclusive perks, maybe early access to new product launches before the general public, special VIP-only content, perhaps even a surprise thank you gift now and then. Reward that loyalty.
And conversely, the low engagement segments.
The low engagement segments, the ones we talked about targeting with win-back campaigns, should receive very different content. It needs to be laser focused on reminding them of the core brand story, the value proposition, maybe highlighting bestsellers or key differentiators. The goal is purely to pull them back into the fold, re-engage them.
So you wouldn't bombard that low engagement group with frequent, aggressive sales emails.
Definitely not. That's more likely to push them to finally unsubscribe. You need a gentler, value-focused approach for them. This contrast is essential. You nurture your loyalists, and you try to gently reactivate your inactive subscribers. You simply cannot treat them the same way and expect good results.
That makes perfect sense. It's about tailoring the conversation to the relationship status.
Exactly. And when you look at the major players, the big retailers like Sephora, they are absolute masters of applying this kind of segmentation at a massive scale.
How do they manage it?
They use sophisticated systems, obviously, but the principle is clear. They seamlessly tailor product recommendations, promotional offers, even the timing of emails based entirely on detailed user profiles built from past purchase history, browsing behavior, quiz results, loyalty status, the whole 9 yards.
So when you get an email from Sephora, it feels less like a generic blast and more like
a personalized consultation or a curated selection just for you. It feels like a service tailored to your individual beauty goals and history, rather than just another piece of mass marketing cluttering your inbox. That level of relevance is the gold standard.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground here, traveling that entire customer path through email, from that crucial first impression with a thoughtful welcome series like Roads,
Building trust.
to providing genuine value through education, like Drunk Elephant does so well,
Reducing anxiety, increasing confidence.
navigating the tricky balance of promotions using visual storytelling like Summer Fridays,
Making sales feel like part of the experience.
leveraging social proof and thoughtful win-back campaigns,
Rebuilding credibility and recovering relationships.
and finally, achieving that hyper-relevance through smart segmentation like Sephora demonstrates at scale.
Bringing it all together.
So after exploring all these pieces, what's the ultimate synthesis? What's the core takeaway for you, the listener, trying to implement this?
I think the overarching lesson, pulling it all together is that real success in beauty email marketing, the kind that builds lasting value, isn't really about having the flashiest graphics or even the absolute biggest list size.
It's not just a numbers game.
No, it's about operationalizing purpose. It means showing up consistently, yes, but with messages that are deeply intentional and strategically designed for specific segments of your audience at specific points in their journey. It means segmenting rigorously based on behavior and engagement.
And constantly learning.
And constantly learning, absolutely. It means actively monitoring your open rates, your click-through rates, seeing what subject lines resonate, experimenting with different content formats, text versus video snippets, UGC versus polished shots. This isn't a set it and forget it channel. It's a dynamic, living communication channel that requires ongoing attention and refinement.
So the ultimate so what? For you listening, the practical implication is this. When you execute email marketing with this kind of precision, this customer-centric focus, it really does transcend just selling stuff.
It becomes something more.
It transforms your brand. You move from being just another vendor pushing products to becoming a trusted, personalized advisor in their beauty journey. Every single message, from that first welcome email to the educational content, the tailored promotion, the thoughtful win-back, every touch point becomes an opportunity to strengthen that relationship, to build the entire brand experience.
And that kind of trusted connection, that owned relationship, that's what ultimately insulates your brand from the unpredictable chaos of third-party algorithms and rented platforms. That's the real power.
It really is. Which leads us to a final provocative thought for you to maybe reflect on after this deep dive.
Okay.
Thinking about your own brand, your own email strategy right now.
Which specific segment of that customer journey we've discussed today? Is it that initial foundational welcome and trust building phase? Is it the ongoing product education and confidence building? Perhaps the strategic, non-fatiguing use of promotions? Or the deeper personalization through segmentation? Which of those areas are you currently perhaps underinvesting in?
Where's the gap? Exactly. Where is the biggest untapped opportunity right now for you to move your brand beyond simply selling products and towards building that richer, more resilient, trusted experience through email?
That's the question to ponder. Where can you make the biggest impact starting tomorrow? Find that spot.
Start there.
Thanks for tuning in to the Song for Beauty podcast. This is a place where beauty meets community, and it meets strategy and ideas. If anything resonated with you, if you were inspired, if ideas were sparked by this podcast, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, also share it. Be sure to check out www.samb4beauty.com. Stay tuned, and we hope to see you at the SAMB for Beauty conference this year in November. It's a virtual conference, November 5th through the 7th. There's a lot of great resources. You're going to access workshops, one-to-one consultations and membership. And then there are quarterly webinars for knowledge, and there's a knowledge base that you can access, all to support your efforts as you look at expanding some of your sales and marketing efforts for your business. We appreciate you checking in. Make sure to follow and check out the next episode.